This podcast is hosted by Sheza Barbour, co-founder of Good Tree Institute, and joined by licensed therapist Archie Aquino and our resident scholar and founder, Dr. Nadia Qatranji.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings be upon you. We'd like to welcome you to Good Tree Institute's new podcast called Timeless Conversations. My name is Sheza Barbour, and I'll be moderating and facilitating the conversations along with our esteemed members and leaders of Good Tree Institute, Dr. Nadia Qatranji and Archie Aquino, along with other guests we'll be inviting along the way. So you may be wondering, what is Good Tree Institute and what do we do? Well, we're a 501c3 that has been working in the desert of Phoenix, Arizona, in the heart of the Southwest, for the past 12 years. It's been a hidden gem that has touched so many lives, even as many of us have moved away from Arizona. And yet, we hope to share the transformational work that has taken place to people around the world in hopes that they can really connect to themselves, understand themselves, and thereby drive a deeper connection to God, to improve not only our own condition and our own states, but also the state of our families and communities and humanity as a whole. What we specialize at Good Tree is really gaining this deeper understanding and connection by going straight to the Quran, the Word of God, that has not been changed since it has been really revealed. But first, I want to make it clear that this is not a tafsir class. This is not an explanation of the Quran that many may think, we've heard this before. I've read about this. I've already studied this surah. What we focus on isn't giving you more information and knowledge of what has been said, but really making it real to your life, your everyday life. Like, how does this impact you right here, right now? Some of the things that Good Tree offers are weekend retreats, which we call Seeds of Wisdom, and they take place 3 times a year. Online courses to continue your journey, like college and young professional retreats, as well as our awesome team camps that I can tell you and attest that my teens who have gone to camps all over the country say that Good Tree camps are the best camps, Islamic camps around the country. So definitely check us out on social media. We're at goodtreeinstitute.com and our handle is at Good Tree Institute. So in the meantime, I just want to reiterate that this is not an alternative to having a teacher or a mentor. It is just a starting point for you to gain a deeper understanding of yourself from a Quranic viewpoint. I want to take this time now to just go around and introduce this team and just talk a little bit about our commitment to Good Tree, why we're here, and why do we believe in Good Tree? What is our vision and what is it that we want to share with the rest of the world? So just to briefly start off, I'll just introduce myself again. My name is Sheza. I am an entrepreneur. Right now I'm working in the business sphere and doing agile transformations in companies. I've been a member of Good Tree since its inception. I'm on the board. Good Tree's been around for 12 years. Me and my husband both are very involved in Good Tree retreats, Quran and Me, the classes. And like I said, my 3 kids have gone through Good Tree since they were little kids. And for me, I can just attest why I've stuck around with Good Tree, why I've stayed involved. And most of it has really been because of the transformation. Like, even though I have, studied the Quran and studied under different teachers and, tried to gain this understanding, Good Tree opened up a whole other world by making it very real for me. Like, when we talk about what does this ayah mean to you right now? What is it? How does this affect your daily life and your daily struggle? This is what Good Tree opens up for me and why I have stayed committed to it and have had my kids stay committed to it, because they've learned so much more about themselves. And the more you know about yourself, really and truly, the more you can understand God and what Allah is trying to tell you in the stories of the Quran, and how that can help you in your daily struggles and your lifelong goals and initiatives of why are we here on this planet. So that's just a little bit about myself. Archie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Archie Aquino. I'm a licensed professional counselor and a convert. I converted to Islam in 2017, and I've only known Good Tree. That's how I actually decided to convert to Islam, was because of what I was learning through the Good Tree, Seeds of Wisdom and Quran and Me's, and then just experiencing what it's like to be with the community of Good Tree, the people who attend all these events. That's another draw for me. As a counselor, people found out as a counselor, they were all like, "Can you be a counselor for me?" And I was like, "I don't know anything about Islam, so let me learn about Islam first so I can have some context of what people's issues might be." And in doing that, I saw so many parallels between cognitive behavioral therapy and what's written in the Quran. And just, it was amazing to me to see that this information has always been in the Quran for thousands of years before psychology even existed. And so for me, that's the appeal, is to continue to learn how psychology is playing out in all these stories that are in the Quran, and how practical they are to people's lives.
That's awesome. And we're so lucky to have you, Archie. Like, I mean, you've been such a huge contribution to Good Tree, like in all of its forms and between the classes and the teen camps. Like, my kids love you and attest to you, the work that you kind of help them go through in those camps. So,
Uh, it's just, it goes both ways. I've learned so
yeah,
much about people and their experiences, and when they come to me, and having counseling sessions with people using Islamic information. It's just amazing to without Good Tree, I don't think I would have been as committed to Islam as I am.
alhamdulillah. That's awesome. Nadia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Nadia Katranji, and I am, let's see. So I grew up in Syria, and I basically have spent all my adult life over here in this country, in the US. And I'm a medical doctor by profession. I do that a little bit on the side, but my main focus is really, and my heart is into this work, into the Quran, and into having it interact with people's lives. My husband Jamal and myself and all my kids, alhamdulillah, are involved in this work, and it's really living alive in our house and in our conversations, in how we just deal with things that are happening for us. And that's why, because it is so alive for us, that's why we want to make sure that this is available for everybody. The beautiful thing about the work that we do is that it highlights the why that is in the Quran. The Quran deals a lot with your source, like what is it that's causing anything, what's the intention of things, why you do what you do. And a lot of the times it gets dimmed down. We kind of like get into the dynamic of things, and we become very mechanical, and we forget that source. And without that why being always ignited for ourselves, it really, life becomes tasteless, and it becomes very dead, and we just don't enjoy it. And that's the beautiful thing about our deen and about the Quran, about connecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is that it keeps you alive all the time. You just have to plug yourself into that. And that's why, again, as I said, I just love doing the work that we're doing. And what's so unique about our interactions is that it's not anymore like, yeah, here's what my thoughts are. I really don't care much about my own thoughts. What I love about is just having this sacred Quran, the beautiful words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, and the sacred creation, which is the human being, and have those two just be together, and have that ability to just interact that way, and humble myself to his words, and let them make a difference for me every moment by moment, as I'm living right now, right this moment, what's going on. And that's what makes it so beautiful. And it's just an honor, honestly, to be able to witness that interaction every single time that we're having our weather retreats, or sessions, or whatever we do. It's just beautiful to be able to do that. So that's why we're just very excited to actually start even sharing it more with people, inshallah.
Right. I mean, one of our visions at Good Tree is really to be able to, I think, share what we've been doing for the past 12 years to the wider public, right? And our audience, who, what started out as a Phoenix, kind of like an Arizona local community, has grown. not just nationally, but internationally that have, a lot of people have jumped into our classes. They've jumped into our, our retreats, our weekend retreats, as well as the team camps have just been growing substantially, that we have gotten asked. There's been a lot of requests, right, to be able to share our content and share our format and these conversations, these timeless conversations that we're pulling out of the Quran in a podcast form, right? To be able to, share that widely and publicly, and everyone can have access to these conversations. And I mean, I guess, and everyone can chip in on this, on what you feel like our vision for Good Tree is, and what does it mean for you? And, like, who is this for? Really, like, to us, I think one of the, we're looking for and we're attracting those soulful seekers that really want more, right? They're not here they want more than just, let me pick up a book and digest more information and try to figure out how this applies to my life, but really, like, having more of those soulful conversations and seeing, like, instantly through interactions with the Quran, but through interactions with others, of like, how do I apply this, to my life? And what am I struggling with right now? So maybe Archie and Nadia, if you want to talk a little bit about, like, why are you interested in this podcast, and who do you feel like would benefit the most from this podcast?
To be honest, I was invited to be on here. I was a consumer for many years, just one of the Good Tree attendees, and I was honored to be invited on. But I think there's a huge benefit for people who are interested in Islam, who may or may not be wanting to convert, but still want to can get the benefit of what we're talking about. It does bring the Quran to life. And for me, I hate reading. So, another guilty admission here is I don't read the Quran very much. I don't. And I come to the retreats and I hear what Dr. Nadia presents. And the experience for me in hearing everyone share and hearing how everyone's relating to it, it makes it valid for me personally to see that this thing can be useful. And it's not just something to memorize and something to, have some sort of just trivial knowledge about. I'm more interested in the practicality of it. And I think the world could benefit from this, not just Muslims.
Right. What about you, Nadia?
So, yeah, and I just wanted to go off of what you said, Archie. One of the things that always used to hurt my heart is when I would see people doing book clubs and they read and they do study about everything. But when it comes to the Quran, oh, this is just the book for Muslims. You just have access to it only if you're Muslim. And it hurts me, especially because if you look the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts the Quran by saying He is the caretaker of the worlds, like this is for everybody. And He ends it by saying He is the caretaker of the people, Rabbin Nas. And if it's just for everyone, why aren't we benefiting from it? Why aren't we delving into it? Why aren't we just getting the gems and the wisdoms that are in this book? And we're willing to do that with everything else. I think this is we're withholding something that's amazing from people. And really, if you're just open, if you're looking for something that would enlighten your life and that would make you free, would give you the peace that you're looking for all the time, it's in this book. Because it is the very word of the divine, as we believe as Muslims. I would just give it a shot. I would just look at what's in there. And again, as I said, the beautiful thing is that when you start interacting with it as a human being, it's just every single interaction is a unique and a sacred interaction. And it's based on you and where you're at in your life.
That's awesome. Well, we hope that you join us on this journey of discovery into the stories of the Quran and the timeless conversations that will unfold. In the next episode, we're going to start off with the story of Yusuf and digging into family dynamics that he encountered, and I'm sure that you'll encounter today. So join us next week with our next episode as we kick off Surah Yusuf.
If you like listening to our conversation about the Quran Imagine how much more you would get out of participating in a live conversation about the Quran with Dr. Nadia and a room full of people engaging with the Quran. Join us at our next in-person Seeds of Wisdom retreat, online with our weekly Quran and Me sessions, or for the youth at one of our Camp Z retreats.